What's going on, Coldwater Nation? It's Geoff, and welcome to the 6th episode of the 2025 calendar fly tying series. Each month, I'll show you how I went about tying the corresponding fly from the 2025 Art of the Fly calendar by Paul Twitchell, as well as provide a bit of background to the history of that pattern. Today, I'll be showing you how I tied a hair wing western green drake for the month of June. Originally created by Rene Harp in the 1980s, this modified version of an elk-hair caddis is supposed to more closely represent a hatching mayfly from the upper Midwestern parts of the United States. Featuring a pale body with brightly colored segmentation, this fly is sure to attract the attention of a variety of fish. Also, its large elk-hair wings and hackle body lend it to float extremely well, making it great for dry dropper setups. So without further ado, let's head over to the bench and get started on tying a hair wing western green drake.
Yeah. There he goes.
Oh my god, look at that! Look at that toe!
The squirmy worm is an effective and very deadly fly.
What's up, guys? My name's Brian,
And I'm Geoff.
and you're watching Empire Coldwater. Let's rip some lips.
This video is brought to you in part by Upstate Excursions and by Black Dog Outdoor Sports. First, I'll grab a size 12 dry fly hook and get that settled into my vise. Then I will begin my thread wraps of green 8/0 thread about a hook eye's gap behind the eye of the hook before snipping off my excess thread. Next, I will take a length of orange thread and secure that to my hook shank with a collection wrap, followed by touching wraps towards the eye of the hook and then back down the hook almost to the bend of the hook. After that, I will take my scissors and cut off a pinch of woodchuck fur before pulling out the shorter under fur, leaving only the longer, stiffer guard hairs to tie in at the tail. I'll measure the woodchuck guard hairs to be about a hook shank in length before tying those fibers in with a pinch wrap, followed by tight wraps up the body of the fly to ensure an even taper and a good connection. Then I will take my scissors and snip off the excess guard hair fibers before taking additional wraps to cover over the cut ends. Afterwards, I'll take my thread and work it back towards the tail before grabbing my pale yellow dubbing and my dubbing wax to create a thin dubbing noodle on my thread. Then I will wrap the dubbing noodle up the shank of the fly in touching wraps to build up the body of the fly. Then I will take the orange thread I tied in earlier and take open wraps around the dub section of the fly to make for some colorful segmentation before tying everything off with some crossing wraps and snipping off the excess orange thread. Now it is time to add a wing to the fly, and to do so I will grab a chunk of elk hair and snip away a sizable clump from the tanned hide before pulling out the underfur from those fibers. Then I will align the tips of the elk hair fibers as best as possible using my stacker before pulling out any short or mangled fibers that don't stack nicely. After fussing with the elk hair for a bit, I will measure it up so that a majority of the fibers for the wing of the fly don't go beyond the start of the tail before taking some careful, tight wraps to secure the elk hair to the fly. Then I will snip away the excess elk hair before taking wraps of thread to cover over the cut ends as well as create a gentle taper towards the head of the fly. Now I will take two size 12 whiting hackle feathers, one in dark brown and the other in zebra, and prepare them by stripping an 1/8 inch of hackle from both sides of the stems of each feather. Then I will tie in each feather separately before leaving my thread a few wraps behind the eye of the hook. Then I will start by wrapping my zebra-colored hackle feather around the shank of the hook until I reach my thread before taking a few wraps to secure the hackle wraps in place. Then I will snip away the excess hackle feather as well as take a few more wraps of thread to make sure the previous hackle wraps do not come undone when I wrap the dark brown hackle. Then I will wrap the dark brown hackle feather in a similar way in which I wrapped the zebra-colored hackle feather. But this time I will carefully wind and wiggle the brown hackle feather to trap as little zebra hackle fibers as possible, creating a fantastic two-toned fuzzy body. Then I will secure the brown hackle as I did for the zebra hackle feather and snip off any excess hackle feather. Lastly, I will take my scissors and clean up the area around the head of the fly before taking my whip finishing tool and making a 6-turn whip finish for the head of the fly. Then I'll take my scissors and snip away my thread and add a drop of head cement to the head of the fly to add durability and lock all those thread wraps in place. And that's all there is to tying a hair wing western green drake. If you enjoyed this fly tying tutorial and you want to see more like this one, leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a new video. That's all for now. Tight lines, everybody.